Now, moving on to a couple of division rivals, the Indy Colts. I got a B on their grade. They've only really re-signed their guys. Michael Pittman, they got a long-term deal. Grover Stewart, Zaire Franklin, the tackle leader for last year. Kenny Moore. They really only brought back guys, but the contracts are really good. And you brought back the important players. Michael Pittman, Grover Stewart. All these guys are really important to the core of their team. And they're clearly saying, we think we could be a lot better than we were last year if our quarterback didn't run around like he thinks he's prime Cam Newton and never gets injured. If he could just protect himself, we might have a shot to actually make it. That's what they're telling us right now. We're doing this. We're going to build in the draft. We think we have a shot. And I'm not going to say that they don't. It all comes down to that arm of Anthony Richardson and what he can do. So I'm going to give him a B for bringing back all the important players.
Yeah, I think they, I think any team in the league would take Kenny Moore in 3 year, $30 million. That's a great signing. That's great money.
Yep.
Michael Pittman, 3 for $70. I don't hate that at all either. I mean, he's the threat that Anthony Richardson needs, and so I think they did a good job extending him at that number, tagging him first, so they can continue to negotiate a lot of smart stuff out of that franchise. A really good head coach over there that can make all that stuff work. So.
When you look
breaking 49ers news.
Oh, great.
Kevin Givens returning on a 1-year deal. Wow. I got to tell you, that just altered my entire grade for the 49ers, so I'm excited to get there. Big change for me.
Okay. When you look at Calvin Ridley is rumored to have turned down an offer of the Jaguars that was $10 million less than what the Titans were offering. They have $10 million away. That's crazy.
Well, and a pick.
Yeah, and a pick. When you look at the draft, the Colts are the consensus to get a certain tight end at number 15, and none of this changes it. Dude, honestly, I haven't really played around with the idea a lot in my mind, but Brock Bowers to the Colts as the consensus is actually kind of crazy, giving Anthony Richardson that type of player. Because what people don't understand is Brock Bowers isn't just a tight end. We're talking about a guy who you're splitting out wide. You're putting him in screens that he can just. I'm not talking about Jake Ferguson, who's going to take a screen from 1 yard to 6. We're talking about a guy who can take it from 1 yard to 20 to 25. We're talking about a real athlete here. Maybe he doesn't look like an athlete. He looks like an engineering student from Texas Tech, but he's an athlete, man. He's a real athlete. So I don't think this goes away from it. You could go tight end and feel pretty comfortable, unless there's somewhere else you want to go with that.
If Latu falls, I think that's a good fit for them.
What about Jared Verse?
Yeah. I mean, either of those guys really. If Brock falls out of the top 10, it's going to be like there's like 7 teams in a row that are a good fit for him. So,
yeah.
Especially when you're talking about a player that could potentially be the second pass catcher on your team. You know what I mean? It's just Bowers he's just one of those talents. I mean, he's not, don't get me wrong, he's not Rob Gronkowski, but he's, and
he's
of course,
if you want to look at the measurables, he's the exact, like if you want to look at like a body type for the NFL, he has the exact measurables, time, and all that stuff from Sam Laporta.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't want to mention Sam Laporta because if he doesn't come out and have Sam Laporta's season, people are like, "Oh, what was the hype on this guy?" Sam Laporta had an incredible season. Full stop. Like, let's just move on from that. Like, it doesn't happen every year, so it just is what it is. It was. I'm super impressed with Bowers. So